Welcome back to another day of Invictus 2954. Today we're taking a look at Crusader, MISC, Mirai and Tumbril. We've got a lot of exciting things to look at, a couple new things that we haven't seen before or we've just gotten our hands on pretty recently, some of our old favorites that we're taking a look at. Yeah, what are you looking forward to, Spectre?
Definitely always looking forward to the Ares series, the Inferno, the Ion. Can never say no to a C2. Got those new pulses in. And then, Tumbril has everything on the ground that you're ever going to need.
Absolutely. We're excited to take a look, so follow along with us.
Let's go ahead and look at the main showroom floor.
All right, first up we have behind us the Ares Inferno. We've got both of the Ares on the floor here that we're going to take a look at. But starting here, we have the Inferno with the Gatling gun on the front of it. It's going to be putting out a lot of lead, as we say. It's mainly focused on anti-capital ships. It's taking down those big dogs. It's going to be the cleanup crew. So once the fighters kind of go in and take care of all the anti-fighters and all the turrets, it's going to take out those big ships. So tell us a little bit about that firepower that this thing holds on it.
Yeah, so for starters, you mentioned that big Gatling gun, which is the only weapon on it. It's a size 7 ballistic Gatling, and it also has 20 size 3 missiles.
Wow.
Yeah, a lot of missile firepower, a lot of Gatling firepower. What's also really unique about these Ares ships is they do have 3 coolers on them each. That's going to help keep those weapon systems from overheating and cause any air issues with keeping sustained fire on those giant capitals.
Absolutely. You're putting out a lot of heat when you're continuing firing like that, so those coolers are going to keep you nice and cool while you're sitting right next to the large gun in the cockpit. So that's definitely a good thing.
Exactly. So let's go ahead and head over to its twin, the Ion, and get some information about that one.
All right. So now we're here with the Ares Ion and taking a look at some of those features. Like we said, it is the twin to the Inferno, but this one's got the laser cannon, and it's kind of special about how it works. Again, it's an anti-capital ship. It's going to take on those larger ones, again, after everything's cleared out. Tell us a little bit about that giant laser cannon that this thing's got going on.
Yeah, so again, it does have a size 7 laser cannon and the 20 missiles, but the unique thing is that it has the ability to charge up its shot and deal a lot more damage than just an initial shot would.
And I hear that's a pretty new feature from the manufacturer. They just uploaded that update into the software to where you are going to be able to charge up that shot.
Yeah, very recent. During their testings, it says it does significantly more damage than just firing base shot out of it.
And again, that's going to help take out those larger ships, those capital ships.
It definitely makes it much easier to take out those shields.
All right, we're taking a look here at the Starlifter Hercules series. We're going to talk about the C2 first, and then we'll move on to the M2, and then we've got a little bit of a special surprise with the A2.
Yeah, anywhere from lots of cargo to lots of guns and explosive surprises. Let's take a look inside.
Absolutely. All right, we're here on the cargo deck of the C2 Hercules, the civilian heavy transport vehicle. This one's going to be real good for logistics, especially as we're showing off ships that work with the UAE. This is going to be bringing in supplies. It's got a lot of room for those ground vehicles. It's just kind of an overall very good heavy transport. And again, this is kind of the civilian, the one that has the most cargo capacity. It's going to have a little bit of firepower, but not much as we look at those other ones when we upgrade. The nice thing about this one is it has a nice habitation area and a recreation area for the crew that are going to be on those long hauls and doing those large capacity lifts. Like I said, we're on the cargo deck, so we've got about 696 SCU of cargo space right here on this deck. So tell us a little bit about any firepower that this thing carries along with it.
Yeah, so for starters, the pilot has control of 2 size 5 laser cannons, and then it has 2 turrets. So the remote main turret is 2 size 4 laser cannons, and the remote rear turret is 2 size 4 laser repeaters. It also has 2 size 3 shields.
It's pretty good. Again, you're going to be protected while you're dropping those supplies off, and then you'll be able to get away.
Exactly. Like you said, this is the more civilian-based one, while the others definitely have some major upgrades on them.
Absolutely. Let's go take a look at some of those differences.
Yep, on to the M2.
All right, talking about some of those differences, we're over here looking at the M2, the military variant of the Starlifter series. So we're going to be losing a little bit of cargo, drops it down to about 522 SCU. You're losing some of that cargo because you're gaining a few other things, mostly armor and armament, but you're also, with this variant, getting some drop seats so you can carry some extra military with you and have a drop ship. It does also add an armory, so they will be able to store their suits and their weapons, and you'll be able to grab those out before they go on an op. Tell us a little bit about the other differences.
Yeah, it's not a whole lot different. You still have the size 5s for the pilot, and then the set of 2 turrets. However, it does add an additional turret just underneath the nose, and that is equipped with 2 size 4 laser cannon turrets.
Yeah, so you're going to be a lot more heavily defended with this one while you're doing those drops and whatnot.
Yeah, definitely more weapons to defend it, which you're definitely going to need when you have more people on board. Last thing you want is this thing to get shot down.
Definitely not.
Well, let's go ahead and look at the final Starlifter that we have, the A2.
Let's go. I'm sure you can see behind me the biggest difference with the A2 variant. It's carrying some very large ordnance inside the cargo area, but we'll talk about some of the other differences on board. We're keeping the armory that we had in the M2, but we are switching out the drop seats for turret control with your auxiliary crew. They're going to have access to a lot of firepower, as we'll talk about in just a minute. But again, we're trading out some of those features for some very nice ordnance. Again, this is the A2, the gunship / bomber variant of the Starliner series. Take us through some of those armaments that we have on board.
Oh boy, does this one have a lot of armaments on it. So to start, 2 size 5 laser cannons for the pilot. Remote turret number 1, 2 size 4 laser cannons. Remote rear, 2 size 4 laser repeaters. Remote nose, 2 size 4 laser cannons. Now all that is the same armament as the M2 Hercules, but in addition to all of that, you have additional remote turrets. And those include a single size 5 laser cannon, a second laser cannon turret.
Wow.
And then it also has a 2 size 5 laser cannon turret and 2 size 5 laser repeater turret for a total of 7 turrets.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, you're going to be well covered from the sky and the ground on this thing.
Definitely, considering that most of those turrets are located on the bottom of the ship, aimed straight down.
Right.
And the best part of all is the size 10 Colossus bombs. You are equipped with 4 of them.
Yeah, you got some big Moabs that are going to be causing a lot of devastation when you roll into these things.
Boy, I sure hope the ones here on display are fake.
Don't hit it with a hammer.
Dang, that was my next guess.
Well, those boys on JT are definitely going to have to watch out with this thing rolling along.
At JT and the surrounding kilometer.
Yes, absolutely.
Let's go ahead and head over to the next set of ships.
This next display kind of shows off a very interesting combination of vehicles. We've got the Razor EX in the center here. It is the stealth variant of the Razor series. It's got some decent firepower, and it does follow along with the Razor series of ships. We're also sitting here on the Mirai Pulse, which are brand new vehicles that we've just kind of gotten our hands on recently. We've been playing around with them. They're very fun. They do have a nice big bespoke gun on the front of them, which we'll talk about in a minute. But these are nice little ground vehicles. They can fit in a lot of things because they are some of the smallest vehicles on the market today. Go ahead and talk about these ships and what are on offer.
Yeah, so the Mirai Pulse is definitely the smallest vehicle that you can purchase as of now. It has as you said, that bespoke gun on it, and it's the first laser Gatling.
It's scary looking when it's firing.
It's also a lot of fun. It fits almost anywhere that you can put a 1SU box in, pretty much. You can even take these down into bunkers, as I have done myself.
I'm sure they were surprised when you flew in there.
I was surprised that I could get in there myself. And then talking about the Razor EX here, it has 2 size 2 ballistic scatterguns and 2 size 1 missiles.
So again, being that stealth variant, it's going to be able to get in and out without being detected very easily, right up close and personal with other ships before they even realize it, and then it'll just be able to use that scatter gun to devastate them or take out components. I can see it kind of flying up and take out an engine or radar or something like that. As it's a snub craft, it doesn't have that quantum drive, so it's going to have a mothership, but it'll be very good for those stealth exercises.
Yeah, definitely will be fun to use.
I think we also talked earlier about it being really good at going in and infiltrating other distribution centers or other manufacturers and stealing secrets and then getting out quickly as well.
Yeah, definitely will be good for that because of its low signature and everything being a stealth grade component.
And those Razors are very fast, so they're going to be able to kind of move across the ground really easily and then get up to a waiting ship as well.
Yeah, definitely will be able to. Definitely love flying them. I prefer the racing version myself, but the EX is another good option.
Of course, yeah. And it again offers that stealth capability. All right, on to the next one.
Yep, on to the next one.
All right, we're taking a look at the MISC Reliant Tana, and it is the military variant of the Reliant series. There's a whole series of ships that have all kinds of different functionalities, but we're taking a specific look at the Tana. The nice things about the Reliants in general are that they are affordable. The cool thing that they are is that the wings flip up and down vertically, and they can switch horizontally or vertically while you're flying them around. They look really cool when they're doing that. Looking at this thing, we kind of walked through it a little bit. There is a bed section, like the whole hab section, a little bit of cargo, not much, but again, this is the military variant, so you're just having a couple crew members. You can take them along with you. So what about the firepower on this thing?
Yeah, so the firepower on this is actually quite substantial, with 2 size 2 laser repeaters and 2 size 3 laser repeaters, as well as 20 size 2 missiles.
Wow. I was not expecting that.
Yeah, quite a bit, but it does only have 2 size 1 shields, so you're a little low on the shield power, but hey, who needs it when you got all that DPS?
Right. So you're going to be taking this out there. Again, this is an affordable ship, kind of an early on ship that you're going to be able to afford pretty quickly. You'll be able to take it out on some of the easier bounty hunting missions when you're working for Crusader or one of the planetary systems in Stanton. So it's just a good early fighter for you.
Yeah, definitely something you and a buddy to just take out and have some fun with.
We're here at the Starfarer Gemini, the logistics ship of the UEE Navy. This is the front line, the one that's filling up all of our ships. The Gemini here is the military variant of the Starfarer. It's going to have some little bit of a difference than the regular Starfarer. The Starfarer comes with a fuel scoop. Obviously, the military version is going to have some differences, some armaments. So what are those armaments, Spectre?
For starters, you're going to have 4 size 4 laser cannons for the pilot. The main man turret has 2 size 5 laser repeaters. And then the back left and back right both have 2 size 3 laser repeaters each. And a total of 9 size 3 missiles.
I also think it's interesting that the habitation deck is pretty much all stainless steel, so I think they're really expecting the military boys to make a huge mess in there, and then they can just wash it down. You can power wash that thing.
Yeah, it's definitely very interesting.
Yeah, it's very shiny in there.
Although it does have one of the best bedspreads that comes stock from the factory on it for the captain.
That is correct. So what I like about this thing, I own one of these Starfares and am very excited to take it out on jumps when we need to refuel people and to offer that service to our members and to just anybody in the verse. It's a good ship. It's got that big boom arm on the back. It's got multiple fuel pods so you can kind of change out. We usually carry a mixture of quantum and hydrogen fuel. So it's just a good all-around refueling ship.
Yeah, it's definitely fun to fly, fun to use. It's not bad. The interior can be a little confusing at times, though. I get lost in there every now and then.
I did get lost for a couple days one time.
And you were stuck on the ship for a few days. That's crazy.
I know, it was. We're taking a look at the Crusader Spirit series, and we are here in the A1. You can probably immediately tell what the difference is with this variant. The A1 is the bomber variant of the Spirit series. It is going to have the most firepower that it's going to be carrying back here in the back. You got these, you got the hab deck up front. It's a nice little version of the Hercules that we saw earlier, but it's just a smaller package. What are all these bombs back here behind us?
Here behind us are 10 size 5 bombs. What's very unique about the bombing system on this is you can drop 5 of them in a row, creating like a carpet bomb effect. On top of the bombs, you do also get 4 size 3 missiles. The pilot has 4 size 3 laser cannons. And then you also have a remote turret by your co-pilot, which is 2 size 2 laser repeaters.
So yeah, it's got a good armament on board. A few niceties in the front. It's got a tiny bit of cargo space up there as well. Yeah, just a good all-around version. So talking about that Spirit series, we do also on the floor have the C1 version. That's the cargo version, again with being the military version of the events. The C1 is really good for logistics, I would say. That's kind of where you're gonna see that. It's gonna have some decent cargo capacity. It's gonna just be there for that supply line.
Yeah, but don't cut the C1 out too far, as it still has those 4 size 3s as well as the 4 size 3 missiles. But it does replace your turret with a tractor beam, a size 2 tractor beam that can move the cargo into the ship, and it holds a total of 64 SCU of cargo.
Yeah, that's a nice capacity for that kind of medium-sized ship that they've got here on the floor here at Invictus.
For sure.
Data running is the name of the game with the Mercury Star Runner, which we are taking a look at now. This ship is very fast. It's got a lot of computers built into it, but it's also got some nice functions, like it's got a large cargo capacity as well to make those long hauls, carrying that data.
Yeah, it has a total of 114 SCU of cargo space in the back. Can also fit an Ursa rover and maybe a couple hover bikes in there, so it's definitely very spacious.
Yeah, it's got some nice habitation and recreation area, but it's also got that scanning station that's going to be very useful for actually gathering the data that you're collecting. You can either gather it through the scanner or you can actually load it into the servers, depending on what you're doing with this thing. It's super fast. It's going to get away from, it's a kind of a blockade runner a little bit, so you're going to get through pretty fast. You're going to get away. It's got a little bit of firepower that you can use. Obviously, you have to use the full crew to use that firepower, but it's going to get you there.
Yeah, and speaking of firepower, the pilot has access to 2 size 3 laser repeaters, and then you have 2 turrets, one on the top, one on the bottom. Both of them have 2 size 3 laser repeaters as well. A good variety of missiles, 4 size 2s and 2 size 3s.
Now, the nice thing about this one as well is, much like the Taurus, this actually does have some shielded cargo as well. Now, we're not going to tell you where that is, but take a look for it.
Yeah, some people would say if you put a chess piece on a coaster, you might find something.
All right, we're taking a look downstairs at Tumbril. They've got quite a showing down here.
Yeah, so Tumbril has basically every ground vehicle that you're going to need, and we're going to take a look at a few of them here on display.
Of course, we got to start with the big one, the tank.
Definitely going to have to start here with the Nova Tonk.
Obviously, this is the big one, the big ground assault vehicle. It's got a lot of firepower that you're going to carry with you. Obviously, we talked about how it can be carried in the Hercules upstairs. It can be thrown in a lot of different vehicles with those large cargo bays, but it's a good all-around vehicle.
Yeah, with a minimum crew size of 1 and a maximum of 3, and the armament inside is nothing to shake a finger at, with the massive ballistic Slayer cannon on top, as well as 24 size 2 missiles, and then your turret has 2 size 2 laser repeaters.
That's definitely a devastating carriage.
Yeah, and also being a ground vehicle, it does have size 0 shields, but it has 3 of them, which is a lot of shield power for the size of ship that we have.
That's very true. Yeah, it's a good looking ground assault vehicle. 2 crew size. You're gonna have that commander seat and a good turret for them. It's a good all around heavy vehicle.
The only question I have with the Nova Tank is why are there 6 pedals but only 4 directions?
That is a great question.
Well, Bob, I guess it's a good thing we both have our jackets because a storm is coming.
I don't even know what to say about that.
Oh, behind us we have 2 storms.
We do. We have the Storm and the Storm AA. So these are some nice one-person rapid response vehicles. They have a lot of firepower on top of them. They got a turret, and they've got some anti-aircraft versions, so let's go through those.
Yeah, so for starters, we'll talk about the regular Storm with its size 3 laser repeater. Big for the small ship that it comes on.
Yeah.
And for the Storm AA, you're going to need more than a jacket for this one. 64 size 1 missiles and 16 size 2 missiles.
You're going to be dodging missiles for quite a while with that thing.
That is more than correct. If I do remember correctly, I believe you can shoot 8 missiles at once out of that thing.
That's crazy.
Shoots a lot of firepower out towards whatever you're aiming at.
Yeah, you're going to be protecting some facilities with that thing.
Yeah, some facilities and then some.
But yeah, these are nice vehicles. Again, they can fit in some of those bigger cargo variants that we've got above us. Good all-around rapid response vehicles, ground vehicles for those ground assaults. And again, for area protection with that AA, you're going to be keeping that pretty protected.
Yeah, definitely. One of the neat thing about both of these that we didn't mention is that there is no window on them. They are actually screens on the inside with cameras.
That is true. You get pulled up into it from in the front, and then you've just got some screens all around you. It's very cool looking.
Yep, and once you're inside, no one can get you out of it because you're literally in a tank and they're not.
You're not my dad, and I'm in a tank. We're now taking a look at the entire series of the Cyclones. So we've got all of the variants here. They're all military in nature. We're going to take a look through them. We've got the MT, the AA, the TR, and the RN. So let's kind of take a look through those and start talking about what they carry with them. So the MT means missile turret, which comes with a turret that's ballistics, but it also has missiles built into it. Talk me through that.
So the ballistic gun on top is a 9 series longsword size 1 ballistic cannon, and then it has 4 size 2 Dominator 2 missiles as well.
Nice. Yeah, it's a pretty scary looking thing when you look at that thing. So we've also got the anti-aircraft variant, the AA. So talk us through that one.
Yeah, so the AA, its turret is just the missiles, so it has 2 Dominator 2 missiles, but it also does have a EMP burst generator.
That I didn't know. That's good information to have.
Definitely see a lot of people using that one in the Atbo, Hearst, and Hurt Locker.
That would make sense. So next we got the TR, the turret vehicle. What's that one looking like?
The standard turret one has a yellow jacket size 1 Gatling.
Okay, nice anti-personnel vehicle there. And then we also have the RN, or the reconnaissance vehicle.
Yeah, so this one only has 2 seats, and instead of having a turret, it has a cargo grid in the back.
It's a nice addition to it. It seems like all of these kind of build up to each other. You start with just the open bed, and then you add a turret, add missiles, and then you add a turret and missiles. So a nice little series here.
Yeah, definitely really fun to drive, really fun to shoot the MT, having both those missiles and that long series.
That definitely makes sense, and it's nice that they can fit in a lot of things. You can put these in Valkyries, you can fit them in, obviously, those Hercules upstairs, a lot of things.
Yeah, definitely. If you plan to do any type of anything, really, drive it around on planet side, a Cyclone's a good choice.
Absolutely. Well, that wraps up another day of Invictus. We got to take a good look at Crusader, MISC, Mirai, and Tumbril. A couple new things that we hadn't seen before, and a couple of our old favorites.
Yeah, definitely good to see some of these ships out there, especially the Mercury Star Runner, as we both have one personally, and we definitely love flying that.
Absolutely. And we can put a couple of those pulses in there.
Oh yeah, more than enough in there. So we will see you guys on the next convention day here at Invictus Launch Week.
We'll see you on the next one.
Bye.